All right, everybody. This is episode 11 of the AAC podcast, and we're taking it on the road. We just got done visiting LL Gun Dogs. They are a kennel, and she also does train some dogs there, but she's mainly a breeder in a kennel. And she's been on our products for 3 months with her dogs, and we got to come down and spend about 2 hours, talk to her, learn about what she's doing, and we just created an awesome video. So today we're going to talk about what we're doing in All-American Canine, where we've come from, what we're doing, and where we're going.
Big vision?
And the big vision.
The big vision.
We're gonna start talking about the big vision. So
I want to ask you, like, after, because we've been out to Maceo, we got to hang out with them, see their storefront, what that could look like. Also, now being out here and seeing the huge wide open space, like, has that inspired you? Because, like, I got some ideas now.
yeah, I think what we were talking about, like getting, like a place where you're bringing a retreat or you're bringing people to an event place with AAC in the years to come,
Yeah.
right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want us to have, like, a destination where we put on huge events for hunters, dog, people that are dog breeders, even business owners, where they can come out and maybe rent out our space and just be part of be out here and see the huge scape. We have like cool four-wheelers, and we'll be right next to a lake and stuff like that where they take the boat out. Just create a great experience for them.
Yeah, man. I want to get there. First, we gotta get our business going, though, right?
Yeah. Well, it's been going.
No, you gotta keep.
It's still going.
It's going. You gotta keep the vision. You gotta keep the vision of what we want to go do,
Yeah.
and I think that's really important as we're building this business to know what we want to go do, keep pointing in that direction, and go and getting those. They're called the BHAG, I think, big hairy audacious goal.
Yes.
You ever read the book Traction?
BHAG.
BHAG, yes. So, Roy, I think that's really cool. Get something like that going, and sometimes for me it gets a little hard actually to stay up to see that it can happen, because the journey of this, not just this business but entrepreneurship, has been just so stinking hard in my life. I won't lie, sometimes I have a hard time believing I'm gonna get there some days, but then the next day I'm actually the opposite. I'm like, $100 million company, how are we not doing it?
This up and down roller coaster.
It's like the biggest roller coaster when you wake up, and I think that's part of the fun though in the journey. So yeah, it was a good day. What I got out of today that I wanted to share with you. Oh, don't worry, that's part of the journey, right? The ups and downs. And what I got out of today the most, I think, is just seeing the excitement of how our product is helping someone like Amber and her dog. She has a 10-year-old dog named Slim, GSP, and she said that he's been on our hip and joint product for 3 months, and she said he acts like a 2-year-old now. And hearing something like that is amazing. And then to top it off, she said before she was using our product, she was trying to get them to use Purina hip and joint products, but the dogs... Purina, what'd I say?
You said Purina.
They're the same thing.
Purina.
Okay. It's my accent,
It's
man.
your accent.
It's my accent. It's my northern accent. So that was really cool hearing, a big brand like that, she's shifting over to us, because not just because of the quality, but also the dog wouldn't even eat it.
No.
So that's really cool.
Like I was telling you before, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised either.
I'm not surprised.
So basically, kind of where we're at right now, we're coming into month 13 of the All-American Canine journey. And for anyone that's watching this for the first time, basically what happened is 13 months ago, we started All-American Canine, me and 2 other guys. And then January of 2024, they both wanted to get out. And I got crazy and bought them out on a credit card because I didn't have any money. And Roy has come on since then, and I got a couple other people that are helping out, doing things, and then it's really fun. So we got a small team that we're building out the All-American Canine journey on, and we've partnered with Mossy Oak. They are an official partner with us. Everything we do is powered by Mossy Oak. We put their camo on it, and we've gotten into shields. And tomorrow, actually, it's gonna be really fun, dude. Hopefully tomorrow, our new product, the duck treats, are coming out. So we're coming out with duck treats, duck heads, duck jerky, duck feet, and duck necks. So we're gonna add another product. We're on Tractor Supply's website. We're on Orvis's website. We're in a handful of mom and pa's, and we're gonna be launching some serious social media in the next 60 days. So that's my quick recap of where I'm coming. I would actually like to hear your thoughts. You know, I want you to get like a little raw and real here, man.
Okay.
Like when you came in to where you are now, share us your feelings, your ups and downs, the craziness of like, what are you doing here to like, you see the vision, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously I came into this with already the intentions of leaving a great organization, understanding that maybe I've ran my, you know, I've reached my run like there, and looking for something that could really challenge me. And call you up, and I hear about you were literally in your backyard tanning when I called you.
Hold on, you left part of the story out.
I did.
No, I was tanning in my underwear.
So much for being a little raw and real.
We're getting raw and real.
There's real, yeah. Can't get any more raw than that. But I call you up. You go, and I was like, "Hey, Jared, I'm coming back to. I want to come back to Texas. I know I liked working with you. I want to see if you knew someone that had something going on." And you're like, "I got something that just plopped in my lap right now." I'm like, "What's that?" And you told me all about All American Canine. And as soon as you said it, I was a little hesitant, but I was very much wanted to hear more about it. We set up a Zoom meeting with you and my wife. I mean, my wife, myself, and you.
Yep.
And you explained it, and as soon as we kind of delve deeper into it, the vision became clear. Where this could actually go. And as soon as I was like, I'm in, sign me up. What do I got to do? Let's get this going. And even through the transition of moving from Florida back to Texas, you know, you were kind of giving me updates what's happening. I'm also trying to make sure I, you know, exit with, you know, with where I'm set up well to get, you know, make sure I'm able to give my best and my all to All American Canine.
No, I'm gonna say something real quick too. There was a moment where I told you, "Don't come, man. Like this is gonna work," because I knew I was watching some things happen and unfold, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm kind of scary for you to like leave and come on board when I'm like, man, I got some things going on. Like this might not work.
And what was my answer?
I'm coming.
I'm coming.
I'm all in. And I was like, dang, if a guy like that, when I literally said, "Don't come, this is too risky and dangerous," he's like, "No, dude. Like I see the long-term vision." I was like, all right, that's crazy. I literally try to scare you away.
Because that's the name of the game. You're gonna have it. Otherwise, everyone would be in this game if it was safe. It's not safe.
Yeah, and it's not like it, you know, what we're going through to try to build this is like, it's really freaking hard, man. Like between like cash flow, trying to acquire clients, you know, doing customer service, going out trying to build a sales team, and we don't have any money to do this. Like we're literally bootstrapping this.
Bootstrap.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So when you said that, I was like, okay, I can get that guy on my team.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, now you can come.
Let's go. And so, anyways, from that point, you know, getting your hands dirty, seeing some great success, acquiring some good talent, and just people for the most part. It's not just that we have a product; we have a good American product, and it's made here in the U.S. and people are loving it because, again, dogs, just like my dog, is part of my family. It's going to be a sad day when my dog goes away, but if I can extend not just my dog, but anyone's dogs that's part of their lives longer, that means the world to me.
So what was the, you know, you knew you're coming in here with some red flags of like, hey man, you probably shouldn't come. When you got here and you saw what was going on, because we were building two kind of companies, right? There's like, this wasn't just All American Canine, there's the manufacturing side, and I hadn't bought out my partner yet, and on that side, and I could kind of tell like, I don't know. I never like said it to anybody, but I was like, I just don't know how this is going to work with both the manufacturing and doing the brand. I just don't see it working, and I just don't know how to voice it out. So when was the moment when you came and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to sell this to my wife, or this isn't going to work, but I want to be here. Like, what's going to happen here? There had to have been a moment, because I know I talked to you a few times, but...
There were some moments. There was definitely some moments there. But here's the thing. It wasn't against All American Canine. It was just because we had an opportunity to do some other white labeling things, and all I wanted was the Golden Goose, which was All American Canine. Because the other ones, they're great, but my energy, my excitement was for All American Canine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, but where was that moment when you were like, did you have a moment when you're like, this might not work, and because I didn't have it at the time, and I didn't have the power or control to do certain things. So was there a moment where you're like, you might have made the wrong decision, or you're just like, we're just gonna see how this plays out?
No, it's always been, let's just see this plays out.
Okay.
It was never really a moment of like, I don't think this is gonna work. I just knew it's gonna work. How we were gonna get there, that's the only thing that was worrying me, is like how we were gonna get there. It's like, how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna, acquire the clients? How are we gonna be able to, gain control of the company and be able to blow this up? Because there was a lot of things that were pulling us back.
Yeah.
And we were fighting against quite a bit of resistance.
We were fighting against a lot.
A lot of resistance.
It was tough. So, well, that's cool to hear. And then I got it, and then we kind of can go control our destiny then. And that took like 2 or 3 months though.
Yeah. And that was another challenge too.
Oh man.
There was some resistance there.
I had, what's crazy is I had a lot of money that I had to say no. The last person I said no to, this is hilarious because this is part of the story with the guy in California, right?
Yeah.
That I just talked about in the podcast. He offered me $50,000 for 2% of All American Canine. That's a $2.5 million valuation.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, and I was like, I'm taking this money. And then I go to that retreat thing, which is on podcast. I think it's episode 8 or 9. I tell a crazy journey experience that I went on. But when I'm like, I can't partner with this. And this is something that I've learned is I have to be very careful who I partner with, because I've just had a lot of bad partners in the past, and I can't repeat the same mistake again. Because my family can't afford it.
If you didn't go on that retreat, I think we'd be in much bigger trouble right now.
I think we would be, actually.
I think we would be kicking ourselves, saying, why did we take this money?
I think we would have been, at first it would have been like this relief because we need to pay bills and we need some stuff. But I think the biggest part too is I think when you tie yourself to somebody, even spiritually, like you make a contract, like you're bringing that stuff with you, and like that was scary for me.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad we said no to that, and I had another opportunity. You were getting updated along the way where somebody wanted to buy basically 90% of the company and put on a nice salary and basically go build my dream, but don't own it. And I'm buying myself a job, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And that's been hard to say no though, like, because if anyone's watching my videos, I do daily vlogs, and I'm updating, getting pretty raw and real, and like, it's dire times on the financial side for me. But I tell you what, like, me personally, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
You know why? It's because the character that I'm getting out of it, it's worth it.
So as we were talking about, making the wrong decision, if we took that guy's money, it's like having that, that hot girl syndrome. That, like, she looks hot. She looks like, man, I want to wipe this girl up like real fast just because of how good she looks. But then you get to know who she is, what she's about. That could really wreck a marriage or a relationship.
Yeah. You want to know who the person is on the inside.
You gotta date. You have to date the person. You gotta see how they are outside of their normal element, and in order for you to really know who you're really dealing with.
I'm gonna throw a curveball on that one. I didn't date, right? But I did get to see who the person was. I just hung out. I won't get into it here, but part of my story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? I told you that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you do. But the whole point, though, I knew who Leah was, who she was, because I spent a lot of time. But yeah, you want to know who people are, and I think that's the biggest thing I've learned on my entrepreneur journey is I've seen one of my blind spots is I trust people way too easy, and I get burned, and then I partner and I give too much out and too much control because I think they think like me, or they're gonna put the effort in, or they're gonna do things, and it just burned me so much. And so that's one of the reasons, that's one of my, I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Hold on.
That's just one of your, I don't want to call it a barrier, just one of those little, I guess, tails that you got to be able to work on.
It's one of those things where like it's one of my, it's very in the light now, but I had to work really hard on it, like to not fall in that trap again. That's basically what it is. It's like it's even though I see it, I can still easily fall back into that trap.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I mean, I think people need to fall into those type of traps in order because you're not going to. Yes, you can have someone warn you about the trap, but you're not going to really know what kind of damage that trap could actually do for you. You make strategic moves that doesn't cost you big time, but you got to go through that through those hardships.
Yeah, they're good for you. So, all right, so it's halfway through the year is basically done, man. We got 6 months left, okay, of AAC. We're doing really well, actually.
And we acquired it when? We acquired it back in January, right?
No. They started it in January. I believe it was right before we went to. It was literally like 2 days before we went to NWTF. I signed papers, so it was like February 6th or 7th we acquired it.
Okay.
So we've really had it for 5 months. Actually, I can tell you the exact. No. It's day 138. I bought it from them 138 days ago because I'm making a daily vlog.
Yeah.
So that's not even 5 months. That's like 4, right?
Yeah.
It's like 4.5 months. So we really haven't had it a whole lot, and yeah. But
you know what? That just makes me think about. So we had the conversation with Edgar from Movies.
Yeah.
And we'll have them on the podcast. So he talked about how you got to understand where you're at, and some people will think they're there, but you really where you're here. I kind of now that you're saying this, it makes us feel like we should be here, but we feel like we haven't moved at all. But really, if you think about it, we've only owned this thing for 4 months. You've only owned this thing for 4 months.
I know.
But we're much farther than we think we really are, honestly.
I know, because tomorrow I think it's going to hit me the most is when we get our big end cap at Shields. Most people they don't get an opportunity like that. But like, I agree with you. I feel like we think we're so far behind still. And I think a lot of it is because for me, I look at it a lot financially, because you got to have money to be successful in a business. But like, if you think about it, we're 138 days in is not a long time.
Yeah.
It really isn't.
It's not.
But it is tough though to think you're farther behind, but you're up closer. And I have a good way to look at this too. Is my first business that was actually successful, and I did it for 7 years and sold it to my parents when I was done, and they did it with me. Our first year we did I think it was 50 or 51,000 in sales, okay, and that was like an insane grind, dude. We did I don't remember the exact number off the top of my head, but we almost doubled that our 12 months in sales. Didn't make any money off of it, but the fact that I almost doubled the first business that I did when I didn't know nothing, I'm when I was doing year 7, we were doing some serious numbers. And so one thing is you just can't give up. You just have to keep going. It's like going to the gym, right?
Yeah.
You don't see anything happen day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 20 even. Then you start to see a few things here and there. But in a business, man, in 6 months from now, I think we're gonna see a pretty big impact.
I think so too.
And I think that's important to just know. I'm gonna say this actually. I had one of my really good friends. I called him up one time for advice. This was 3 months ago. Even after we bought this, I was like, "Hey man," I just asked him. I was like, "Where do you think I failed in the last decade of my life how I got here. Like, without like going into details, I was like, give me like one sentence if you could put it in, because I'm like, and I want you to get as raw and real as you can, like make me cry, basically.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm like, I can't do this
Don't
again.
be nice to me.
No, I cannot afford to fail my family anymore. Like, I can't. I got wrecked, right? So I was like, dude, you gotta hit me right across the face. And he gave me an answer I wasn't expecting. It was actually a lot nicer than it didn't hurt as I thought it was. He's like, Jaron, he's like, you just bounce around too much. He's like, if you just stayed, even though you didn't like the partners, even if you didn't like this, he's like, imagine you'd be, if I was at Valuetainment still, he's like, yeah, you might not like the culture, but he's like, dude, if you stayed there and you were there today and you built up, he's like, you'd be making good money. You would. If you stayed at the Wise Coatings thing with the floor, and you would have hated it, but he's like, you would have been 4 years into now. He's like, you're smart enough to figure it out. He's like, you just haven't had enough of a long run since I built Diers, which I left in 2019. So he's like, for the last 5 years, he's like, you're not putting enough time into one thing, and you're leaving just as the momentum is actually going to get there. He's like, then you're bouncing. And he's like, it's not your fault you're bouncing, obviously, but it kind of is, because he's like, you've made bad choices with partners or what you want to do and stuff like that. So he's like, dude, you could have done any of them, and he's like, I already know they'd be successful right now at this moment. So he's like, you just need to stick with All American Canine, and in 5 years from now, you'll thank yourself. That was his advice he gave me. He's like, stop doing things for 24 months and leaving.
How old is this guy?
I think he's 40.
40?
Yeah,
okay.
he's the mug guy.
He's the mug guy.
He's
okay.
the mug guy.
Okay.
You know who that is. Yeah, he's a mug guy. And so when he told me that, I was like, you're right. You know, I just need to, it's like, I got to put my dues in. I got to put my time in one thing and not get distracted. And it's tough, because this is why most people don't start a business, is because when they don't have money, is because like you have to sacrifice so much stuff. And there's so many times when offers are coming my way for jobs or money, but then it distracts me from All American Canine. Whoop. So that's kind of just, I think, one of the things I realized that this is like, I'm just excited to go for the long run. And you know, we're 138 days in, and where are we going to be at day 1,000? It's going to be mind-blowing.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
as much as we want to get there already, this is just part of the journey. This is part of our story. That's how great companies are built, having a great story.
Yeah. All right, so let's just make this a shorter one than usual, but to wrap this up.
Yeah.
At the end of the year,
yep.
What is your number one thing that you would like to see with All American Canine have accomplished?
Having to accomplish
by January, or before January 1st of next year, that it's accomplished. Not something that we want done. What we're going to get done. That's realistic, but yet still going out there. What is it?
Where you and I are definitely doing this full time.
That was actually mine. That's what I want to do. I was like,
great minds.
I know. I was like, literally, like, that's what I want to accomplish, is like, there's no other distractions.
No distractions.
And it's just all in. So, okay. So that's
exhausting having. But here's the thing: these are distractions that we kind of have to have right now, and it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's not fun sometimes, is it?
No, I mean, it's not fun sometimes. We're having some fun, like being able to get out and go see Amber, and then you know, being able to launch our new duck treats out.
Dude.
Yeah.
So I got two things. So one is I want to be full time with you doing this, where we have enough money coming in that we got there, and I think this alludes to how we get there too. Is I want to be in all the Shields by the end of the year, or at least have a PO in hand to put it in their stores for January. That's my big goal, because that right there, I believe, can pretty much fund us to go do it. They got about 40 stores, so those are the two things I want to see by the end of the year.
I want Sierra to be, also Sierra Trading Post to having, bukus of orders coming in all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a handful of these stores, man. Once they get moving, it's there. So, all right. So December 31st, those are the two goals. Going full time, the two of us, and all of Shield stores that we're in with our product.
Let's go.
All right, episode 11 is out from the road, and we're actually gonna go do a podcast
Today.
right now. We're on our way to go do one, so peace out.